And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2015 ISA World Adaptive Surfing Championships presented by Challenge Athletes Foundation, Hurley, Stance, and the city of San Diego. Aloha, my name is Bo Hodge, along with Simone Salazar and Shannon Quirk, and welcome to day number 1 of our broadcast. Actually, this is a 4-day event. We started yesterday with a clinic of adaptive surfing, taking some local and some international adaptive challenge athletes into the water. And today is our first day of competition. Friday and Sunday is competition down here at La Jolla Shores. And tomorrow coming up will be a symposium, a talk, an education of how other countries are dealing with adaptive surfing and with the community out here. We're going to be talking a lot about that in today's broadcast. We're not going to be primarily working on scores, working on advancements. No, we're going to get you behind the scenes. Who is the man in yellow? Who is the man in red? What is their obstacles that maybe they had to overcome to get to today? And by the end of the week, we're going to have world champions crowned in adaptive surfing, and this is very explosive. Welcome back to beautiful La Jolla, California for the 2015 ISA World Adaptive Surfing Championships presented by CAF, Challenge Athletes Foundation. Also by Hurley and Stance, and of course the city of San Diego. We are live at La Jolla Shores for the inaugural ISA World Championship. We are in heat number 2, round number 1 of the assist division. In the water right now, we have Frédéric Biscara from France in the red jersey. Buster Kawasaki in the white jersey from Hawaii, from Pearl City. We have Brock Johnson from the United States in yellow, and Davey Teixeira from Brazil.
Wow.
And he is one of the most celebrated rock stars in surfing, and this 10-year-old is taking surfing by storm, isn't he?
Davizinho.
That's what you call him?
That's what all the people in Brazil call him, actually. Davizinho, this little kid it's so stoked to jump in the water that you don't even need to explain it. Actually, you just see his face, see his smile, and that's it. It's all that you need. Well, it's it explains all about what surfing is. It explains what about the ISA is, and it explains what about this event is. So it's all about share the story. It's all about to show to the people that you never give up. You always need to be going through your dreams, going to chase your dreams, going through a lot of things to make it happen. But at the end, it will worth it. At the end, totally worth it.
And Davey here, he's had multiple afflictions at birth. And Simon is gathering up information from Davey right now. And he is just, you see him. He's smiling. This morning, he was waxing up his own surfboard. He was scraping, with a surf comb. I mean, these are things you think other people do. No, at 10 years old, he is doing it himself.
That's awesome.
And he is in tune to what he is. And yesterday during the opening ceremonies, he got one of the biggest applauses as he was hitting the stage. And he had the honor to pour the sands for Brazil into the sands of the ceremony.
That's awesome.
Sands of the world.
Yeah, I saw just Gabriel Medina posting on his media a lot of beautiful things about this kid, about David, and Adriano de Souza. All the people, it's just being with it. Like they are supporting this team. They are supporting what these guys are doing. So I don't even have words to explain how I feel right now, because it's just amazing and unbelievable to us. All these guys just represented their flags for the first time. Like most of them, they lost their thoughts about representing their flags to be in a national team surfing. But at the end, this event shows up, and you tell me, this guy from Hawaii, Cotton, that he says like when this event shows up, he just was like just jumping and super stoked about. And I think all the competitors were like that when they heard that they can't compete.
Yeah, I told Fernando, if you build it, they will come.
That's true.
It's the field of dreams. That's the famous line from the Field of Dreams. If you build the ball field, they will come. And they came from all directions, and they came from around the world. And sure enough, they put out a video, the ISA, promoting this event, and they thought they would get a few thousand hits. They had over 100,000 responses from the adaptive video promoting this event just about 2.5 months ago. And they realized, oh, my God.
This is huge.
This is huge.
Yeah.
CAF says we have started a movement. They are committed.
No way.
They are committed. They were only going to sponsor 8 to 10 to maybe 16 athletes in their accommodations and their travel costs here. They have sponsored almost over half of the athletes coming into competing at this event. They are committed. Hurley stepped in. Bob Hurley and the Hurley Foundation, amazing support. The city of San Diego is over their heels. They want to host this event yearly and around the world.
Wow.
And Stance, the famous socks. I mean, they are our major
awesome
sponsors.
Designs.
Some of our supporting sponsors include Denton's, Endotech Designs, Northern Trust, Oliver McMillan, Natural High. Our media sponsors include Surfline, Surfos Magazine, and Passion Extrema. I mean, without these supporters, we would not be able to have these events like the World Adaptive Surfing Championships. And this is a very historic event. As we're watching Surfer in Blue, this is Davi. And watch Davi. I mean, he pretty much uses his right arm for stability, and his left arm he uses for mobility to get him rocking up and down the side of the wave. And I tell you, he's going to get a good score. That's his second wave ridden. His first score, we're waiting for one more judge, is just a below-average wave score, but really good. Here we go. Surfer in white. This is Buster Kawasaki from Pearl City, Hawaii. Buster won the assisted division over at the Dukes Ocean Fest this year.
Wow. So most of the competitors, they have experience doing that, right?
Yes, and especially some of these in Hawaii for 9 years. Access Surf has teamed up with the Duke Foundation to put on the Access Surf Adaptive Surfing Championships.
That's awesome. I mean, it just needs to begin. You just need to begin a movement to make it happen. As you said, if you made it the scene to them to show up, they will come as their own, and they will come and show up, and they will just represent their country. So I'm super stoked. We're watching the replay from David Zinho, this guy from Brazil, just flying down the line, just right to the shores. He just jumped from his board to the sand and just wait from the rescue team to take him back to his board and push it back out.
Well, I tell you what, Davey is up there with a 3.0 and a 2.9 in the lead at this time. But let's tell you about the other competitors. Let's talk about Brock Johnson, the surfer in yellow. 38-year-old from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, currently living in one of his favorite surf spots is in Puerto Rico.
Oh,
he's been surfing for 17 years. He's in the assist division. He is the NSC East Coast Surfing Adaptive Champion from last year. He has been a quadriplegic for 4 years, a surfer for 17 years. So he was an able-bodied surfer before becoming an adaptive surfer. And he has just had a new passion in life with surfing. He is a board member of the Coastal Carolina Adaptive Sports and Recreation for Adaptive Surf Projects. He was inspired by Jesse Billar and Life Rolls On.
Wow.
The project. So a lot of great things have come out from Jesse and Access Surf and Life Rolls On and all these organizations in Brazil and Adapt Surf by exposing events. And down in Myrtle Beach, they host an event called Wheel to Surf. So the organizers of the Carolina Coast and the WSL have teamed up with a thing called Ocean Cure that runs Life Rolls On in Wilmington, North Carolina. That makes it all happen. They have 100 to 150 volunteers supporting 50 surfers that gets into the water. And Brock is all part of that. He competes in swimming and field events. He is also winning and coming in second in some of those events in the past 3 years. He has a national record for the shot put and javelin, and an adaptive surf project, a nonprofit organization that fundraises and helps design boards for him. So he is just, one of the inspiring stories down here.
Yeah, totally. And as well, Frederic Vizcaya from France. This guy is 36-year-old guy from the Basque Biarritz. So that's like, this is amazing. This guy is from Beyond. He lives there, 36-year-old. His favorite surf break is Côte de Basque in Biarritz. And his board is a shortboard Pukas prototype. He's been surfing for 2 years. And one of his hobbies is adaptive rugby and car sports. We have his Instagram, if you want it, Biscote64. So yeah, you can go through the webpage that is going to be the host of all the ISA championships. You go isaworlds.com, and then you can go through home, live, results. You can go through news, watch, see photos. You can go to videos. And I think the best part of this website is the teams, like the team's little square, because you can go there and it will show up all the teams that came here, and then you can press on France, Argentina, Chile, whatever you want, whatever a competitor you want to Google about, and there has the little pictures of it, the little thumbnails about every competitor, and you just click on it, go to info, and it will show up all this information that we're telling to you. So just keep connecting with us, like keep a stick together, because this thing is going to be really, really good. We're almost on the half of the day of the first day of the competition. And what are we having tomorrow, Bo?
Well, tomorrow we're having a symposium. We're having a gather of minds of adaptive surfing from, of course, here in the United States, from Hawaii, from Australia, from South Africa, from Portugal, from France. And we're all sharing ideas, how each country approaches adaptive surfing. Adapt Surf from Brazil will be there. We'll have some Latin American countries also speaking. We'll have Jesse Billar from Life Rolls On. We'll have Mark Marble from Access Surf, Kara Short from Access Surf, all giving speeches, all giving their interpretation of adaptive surfing, and a meeting of the minds. It's going to be a great meeting. CAF is hosting this event at their corporate offices, and without CAF's support in this event wouldn't be possible. And they are really getting into supporting adaptive surfing as it moves globally, and they have started this event, and they know it's going to be a movement, and it's going to be growing each and every year, and it's going to be exciting. And it's going to be great. And then come back Sunday, we'll have the final, a final day competition, all-day competition of quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals of all 4 of our divisions.
Wow. So I want to talk to you about what are we having right now in the water is the prone division, is the assist division, that as the word says, like the surfer goes into the water without assistance, with a caddy, is the way to say it, and they just push the surfer in the wave. But as soon as they are in the wave, they're by their own. So that's impressive. That actually, I wanted to say, hey, I'm glad, I'm so stoked, I'm impressed about these guys that they're just surfing, they're enjoying the waves, and they're being scores, as we saw Mr. Davizinho Teixeira. They're just ripping that wave. We see that open face, and then ripping, just using their arms to maintain the balance and try to pushing it the forward of his board to keep going on that wave. As we had as well, we had before, it was the upright division that there are surfers that only go like as a kayak surfing is the way to say it. Maybe the easiest way to explain it. And stand division, they go by their own and they can stand or just like put their knees on the board. And we have the prawn division that there are surfers that are laid on their board, but they don't have any assistance. Maybe we saw in the stand division some caddies with the blind guys, but they don't. They are not even like touching them. They're only just speaking to them. Where should they paddle? Which wave should they get, or what should they do? The time and everything. So it's amazing the categories that we're having right now.
Yeah, and great description here. Here we see another one of our competitors. I believe this is a surfer in red, our French surfer. And you can see he can get up to his knees, but he needs assistance. And he's got his one good arm on his right-hand side as he's pushing down on his left arm down on the bottom. And he's able to use both arms to paddle back out.
Yeah.
But he just needs assistance from his lower body. And some of these athletes are paraplegics. Some of them are quadriplegics, and every situation is different. You're seeing some of the paraplegic guys who are able to assist themselves, and they're in the prone division. And those who require assistance, as you described, Simon, are in this assist division. Now let's talk about a man I'm familiar with, Buster Kawasaki. Nice. He is in the white jersey, currently in 4th place right now with a couple of one-point scores. Buster is 52 years old, hails from Pearl City, which is near Pearl Harbor. Some of his favorite surfing spots is called In-Betweens, and we call it In-Betweens because it's located in between Kaisers and Rock Piles. Okay. There's a surf spot located between Kaisers, Surf Break by the Hilton Hawaiian Village, and Rock Piles by the old helicopter pad. And they just nicknamed it In-Betweens because it was in between those two. And that was one of his favorite surf spots, White Plains, Ala Moana Bulls. He rides a Stewart surfboard, an S-Winger, a 7.6 model. And Buster has been surfing for a couple of years now. He is the Dukes Ocean Fest 2014-2015 Assist Division first place champion. And really stoked to be here. Really excited to qualify and make the Hawaii team. Buster can walk with the aid of crutches, but he needs some assistance on the pushing part. And once he gets on a wave, he is really demonstrating his knowledge. And here we go. Let's watch here again. This is our surfer in red, our French surfer. This is Frederic Biscara.
Nice. I mean, they are just like trying to get the hugest amount of waves that they can. And we see the guy from France being held by his caddy, just trying to take him out on the lineup to maybe get a really nice wave. The tide is so low that we're just having like tiny waves, just kind of close outs. But as we saw, like Mr. David Texeira got a really good open ones. And as we saw as well, this guy from France once again get another wave, trying to get the better position in order to maybe do a turn, try to go up, hit the lip. So those guys are giving their 110%, I think.
Now, you're seeing some of these competitors. You're seeing Frederic right here in red is riding a soft top. Buster Kawasaki also rides a soft top. Some of these guys prefer some of these soft top boards, not because, they're maybe cheaper in comparing to buying a custom-made board, but for comfort and lying on the board, for suitability of their surfing. So if this board hits him, it doesn't damage him. So some of these surfers are getting ready. And there's one of the rock stars of adaptive surfing. That's Jesse Ballar, Team USA. He's in his modified wheelchair that looks like a tank rolling through the desert here on the beaches. And there's Team USA, and there's his handlers. And Jesse will be coming up in the next heat number 3 of the assist division.
How much do you think, maybe all the people doesn't know, but this type of gadgets that these people need, they're kind of expensive.
Yeah, we were talking with Eric Welton during one of our technical difficulties when we had the power out. He's the amputee surfer from Hawaii who lost his leg in a motorcycle accident. And Eric was telling us just the foot alone on his prosthetic leg costs $5,000. The whole apparatus of the leg can range anywhere from $12,000 to $16,000. The more whistles, buzzers, and bells, obviously, the more money these legs are going to cost. These prosthetic legs aren't made for life. They break down. The insurance companies at times will pay 80% of the cost of the leg once every 5 years. And if you need a leg every year, that means, okay, 80% of your leg number one is paid for. But next year when it breaks and you need a replacement leg, you got to fork out $16,000 for some of these legs. And I'm sure there are even more expensive legs and more inexpensive prosthetic legs. But this is just one man's story of going through. And one of our sponsors, one of our co-sponsors is Autobach. That makes prosthetic legs. And they are a world-leading manufacturer and supplier of limbs, not only legs, but arms also. And they help support wheelchair athletes and facilities to give them their independence, you know?
That's the best part. I mean, one of the things that the people looks like for when they have an accident or when they lose a limb is just try to get their independence back. And that's the hardest part because they need to recover and then they need to get used to the orthopedic limb. So after a year, maybe after, no, I don't know the amount of time, but after a few time that they have the limb back and everything, they just get used to it and get back their independence. And I think that's a huge step. I think that's like 180 degrees, like turn, like after and before they have, and then get used to it. That.
Well, I tell you what, if you look on your screen, you're going to see the 10-year-old, the Davy Teixeira from Brazil, out in the lead right now with a 3.17 and a 3.43. He is followed by American surfer Brock Johnson in second place. Frederic Biscara, who was out with an early lead, has found himself in third place now, actually in a tie for second. But you break the tie, and Johnson has actually broke that tie of 4.17. And our champion out of Hawaii, Buster Kawasaki, is currently in fourth place, needing a 2.4 or better to get himself into second place. So it's amazing what these athletes are achieving out here today, as history is in the making by the ISA, hosting the very first World Adaptive Surfing Championships. And we're in heat number 2, round number 1 of the assist division.
Wow. So remember that this event, it's different as you usually see on a normal event, that you have like, if you get first and second, you advance to the second round, and the third and fourth, they go eliminated. This event, it's way different than that.
Yeah, usually at an ISA event, Fernando Aguirre has promoted this fact of, if you're going to travel around the world, you're not going to surf one heat and be one and done if you lost. You're going to get at least 2 chances. And so he has the repechage round, the losers round, in the format of all the surfing apparatus of the masters, the juniors, the longboard, the bodyboard, the sup surfing, all the different disciplines. But here, they're kind of adapting the format here with the Adaptive Surfing Championships. Instead of having a repechage round, they're giving every division, the 4 divisions, stand, upright, prone, assist, 2 qualifying rounds heats. And after that, they'll take half the athletes and they'll go for a world championship. So out of the stand, 16 will advance to the final day. Out of the upright, prone, and assist, the top 8 will advance into semifinals and finals on the final day. So this is a unique experience. This is a very learning experience, and that is why the ISA decided to open it up to everybody.
That's true.
Not just 6 members from one country. The United States has 18. Hawaii has 10. France has a full team of 6. But everybody else has either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 competitors representing their team. In the future, I think we'll be more than double the athletes coming up in the future. Just the word is getting out to the adaptive world. And I told Fernando, I said, you have lit a fire in Hawaii with adaptive surfing with this international competition, even though we host our own at the Dukes Ocean Fest. But to claim and to crown a world champion is not like any other.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, being here, you're already a winner if you are here because you need to qualify on your national country to get here and represent your flag. So, actually, you're having the best surfers from all around the world representing the flags. So, it's like a show for the people. So, what the ISA does kind of is just brings the event to put a show on and then show to the people the most amazing sport in the world. That it's, I don't know, for me it's the surf. Sorry for all of them. But yeah, this one, like, and this special event that is the adaptive inspires me all the time. All the time that I'm talking to someone, all the time that I interview someone, all the time that I'm talking to you, Bo, and you're telling me what's going on in Hawaii, and with Shannon that we're talking about like how impressed it's to see these people like charging. I mean, because like yeah, right now it's kind of small. The waves are small, but as you see, most of those guys surf like normal waves as all the guys that surf. So I'm impressed about that.
Yeah, you know, and CAF's earlier in an interview that Shannon did said today is the first day of a new movement. And today is exciting. We're going to take a short break right now, and when we return, we have our final heat in the assist division. You're watching the 2015 ISA World Adaptive Surfing Championships presented by CAF, Hurley, Stance, and the City of San Diego. Stay tuned for more exciting surfing action. Welcome back to La Jolla, California. You're watching the 2015 ISA World Adaptive Surfing Championships presented by Challenge Athletes Foundation. That's known as CAF, Team CAF. Also by Hurley, Bob Hurley, mahalo, and thank you, Nui Loa, for being one of the major sponsors down here. Stan Stocks, the City of San Diego, Mayor Kevin Faulkner, proclaiming during the opening ceremonies he wants to see this event yearly, every year coming back here, and who knows, we may be back here at La Jolla Shores yet again for the inaugural ISA World Championships. We are in the assist division, round 2, heat number 2. Let's introduce our surfers out in the water. Buster Kawasaki from Pearl City, Hawaii, representing in the blue jersey. Juan de Pasadas from Peru will be in the red jersey. Frederic Biscara from France in the yellow jersey, and Eduardo Mara from Brazil in the white jersey. I'm Bo Hodge along with Chris Crote and Shannon Marie Quirk, bringing you the exciting broadcast of this inaugural event, the ISA World Adaptive Surfing Championships. And it's so cool, Chris, to see Rob Machado, to see Sean Thompson help supporting this event. They are our honorary co-chairmen of this event.
Oh, I love it. Well, Buster Kawasaki, straight into it. He must have been watching Jesse Billauer's heat because he's definitely taking off in that same zone, trying to find these little rights that have been running from the outside to the inside. And here's your replay, Bo. So, yeah, these guys, I mean, they know 20 minutes they watched that last heat. There's open-face waves kind of few and far in between. So you just got to get engaged and get a ton of waves and give yourself the opportunity to get these long rides, and that's what the judges have been scoring well on.
Buster, his Instagram, Basta Move.
Basta Move.
Basta Move. Mr. Basta. He is the 2-time winner of the assist division at the Dukes Ocean Fest Adaptive Surfing Championships. He's only been surfing for a year and a half, and he has won back-to-back Duke competitions, and he was so excited when Fernando Aguirre announced the ISA World Championship. I go, Buster, you could be a world champion. And his eyes just lit up. And that's the drive, and that's the spark that Fernando has done with the whole adaptive community around the world. These guys have been surfing in their local communities, whether free surfing or in local competitions. And now we've got the Hawaii Amateur Surfing Association helping support adaptive surfing for the past 4 years in Hawaii. And here we go, surfer in red. This is Juan de Pasadas from Uruguay, the lone member of the Uruguayan adaptive surf team.
I mean, look at the look on Juan's face. He is so determined, taking out his team member right there. So there you see the urgency in which the team reacts. Get him back out there, get a second wave. And with 15 minutes, 48 seconds to go, Kawasaki, he's got a 2.83 and a 2.60. And the early lead, Biscayar, surfer from France in second. And almost getting into this one, Buster Kawasaki. We've kind of closed out, but look at that little runner on the inside. So he's going to want to get back out, get back in position, And you talk about the assist element here. So these guys have teammates out in the lineup. They get them out the back, and then they kind of work together to pick the right waves. And, you know, the open face, long rides. Jesse Billower showed us that's what it's going to take to get those 8s, those 9s. Jesse had 5 waves, nothing below a 7.
Here we go, Buster Kawasaki up and riding again. This will be wave number 3 for Buster. And you can see he's using his rail, using his weight, using his momentum, and kind of the wave fattens up at the end, so he'll be out. We'd like to thank all of... I tell you what, before we get into our next piece, let's go down back to the beach. We've got Shannon Quirk with a rock star, Jesse Bilar.
Oh, rock star, no doubt. Jesse Bilar, he is the founder of Life Rolls On. Here, rooting on the USA team. He actually has another heat coming up at noon. What's the vibe like down here today in La Jolla?
Oh, man, the waves are a lot better than they were the other day. Pretty stoked on my heat and the long waves that I got. And it's just great to see everybody down here. A lot of adaptive surfers from around the country, around the world. Finally, you know, there's an event where people can showcase their skills and for people to get inspired, you know?
Definitely. And, you know, there's a symposium yesterday, kind of like a meeting of the minds. What did you gain from that, and what do you think was one of the most important points?
I think, yes, you know, the symposium was just great to hear what other people are doing in different countries and to learn a little bit, give a little insight. Everybody deserves the right to have that independence and that freedom and the ability to be at the beach, to have access to surf. It was just great to hear other people's stories about how they started and, you know, how they got inspired by, like, me and Rob Machado and Step Into Liquid. And, yeah, man, it's cool to see where it's at right now.
And, you know, the Challenge Athletes Foundation does work with all sorts of sports, all sorts of adaptive sports. What do you think about surfing, though, in particular, so therapeutic?
Just being in the water, man, it just takes you out of your wheelchair, doesn't let you think about kind of any troubles or whatever you have on land, kind of just cleanses you, makes you feel like free, you know, and that's priceless.
So awesome. And last but not least, Life Rolls On is a foundation that has changed lives and inspired millions around the world. Tell me a little bit about what you guys have going on at Life Rolls On.
Yeah, man, Life Rolls On. We're just doing events, quality of life programs called They Will Surf Again, They Will Skate Again. We're taking out thousands of people surfing, you know what I mean? And do it in California, Florida, New Jersey, Virginia, North Carolina, New York, Nova Scotia. And I just love giving back, man. I just love to have other people in my situation surf that they never thought they could.
So awesome to have you here. Check out liferollson.org for more information, and definitely check out this guy's heat coming up. Back to you guys in the booth.
Oh, my God, a living legend, Jesse Bilar. And he killed it. A 9.43 and an 8. And you were saying, Chris, he was dropping a couple of high 7s.
Yeah, there was definitely, I feel like, self-implemented pressure for Jesse right there. You know, he did not like the way he surfed on Friday, so he came back and proved why he is the man in this competition. But I'll tell you what, he's got some definite contenders coming after him. This is Frederic Biscayar from France. So Frederic, a couple nice waves under his belt already. He's currently in third. Kawasaki in the lead. De Posadas in second. And we're waiting for Eduardo Maier from Brazil to get involved here. And I love that Jesse right there. You know, he does both. He gives back and he takes inspiration from his fellow competitors. Here goes Frederic Biscayar, staying very busy out there, sticking to these little right-handers. And he's got a nice inside section to work with. Kind of fades it, get back on his board. So I think is, you know, the coolest part about this event is not only you have all these volunteers here and, you know, they're giving back, but I think what they're getting in return, like us, I'm sure you get so much inspiration coming down here. I mean, you will not complain about anything having to do with surfing after being at the beach down here today. I mean, the determination it takes for some of these athletes to just get to the beach, get in the lineup. I mean, you take a lot of this for granted. So, selfishly for me, I mean, I'm so happy to be here just to draw all this inspiration. I'm literally filling myself up, and I hope you guys at home are too. Fill those inspiration tanks up right now and use what we're seeing here today, you know, on a day where you're going, I don't know if I want to surf today. Think about it. Okay, yes, surf, because, you know, we know the amount of effort it takes for our volunteers and for our surfers to come down here and get involved. Don't take that for granted. Get out there on any opportunity you have.
As you know, the quotation, only a surfer knows the feeling, is so true for these events here. The CAF team announced on Friday when we had our first heat in the water that, you know, this is a special movement. This is history in the making. This is a life-changing experience. This will not be the last time you're going to see a world championship of adaptive surfing. They said a movement has just begun, and you're seeing 18 countries assemble here at La Jolla Shores. Nearly 60 athletes competing for a world title in 4 different divisions. Coming up in the next years, this event will mold and have more divisions, have more classifications, have more categories. Men and women will compete amongst their own peers. I mean, this event is starting out very basic. There's a stand division, there's an upright division, there's a prone division, there's an assist division. Coming next year, we could have possibly 8, 9, 10 different divisions. There's blind surfers, there's deaf surfers, there's the capability of this event growing is huge. The boundaries are endless.
We're riding right now Juan de Posadas, surfer from Uruguay, outside all the way to the beach, gets back on his board. His team, they are fired up to get him back out there. And I love the kind of the steamroll effect. Once this event goes on, you know there's people around the world going, oh man, I got to get involved in this next year, whether they're adaptive surfers themselves, whether they're sponsors, you know, whether they just want to come down here and feel the vibe, volunteer, get in the water. There's tons of ways for you to get involved, not only with this event, but also with the ISA. You know, again, I think judging by what's going to happen with this call tonight we've been talking about, and a lot of people with their fingers crossed right now that surfing will get in the Olympics, and, you know, the ISA as a worldwide surf organization, spreading the love of surfing from the highest level, from the, you know, the elite pros all the way down to the youngest of the young, you know, be it adaptive, shortboard, longboard, bodyboard, whatever, the ISA has a division for you. So get involved, isasurf.org.
Yeah, Juan Martin de Posadas suffered a surfing accident 11 years ago, and it happened on his birthday. He was tossed around. He had rehab at Mount Sinai in New York City. He lives in Buenos Aires at his home. You know, he has regrouped. Even though he is a quadriplegic, surfing is his ocean, is his therapy, and it's so great to see him back out in the water.
I mean, that right there tells you a lot of these guys and girls injured actually surfing, and the fact that they just got back on the board, and that is telling, again, the word determination, I feel like, is one of the better words to describe these athletes. They will let nothing stop them. So we got 6.5 to go. Buster Kawasaki from Hawaii in the lead. Frederic Biscayar from France in second. De Posadas, he's coming up. He's in third. Eduardo Mayer. We're waiting to see him get involved here. A lot of waves ridden in this heat in particular. And again, I think in that last heat, the guys that just got involved, stayed active in the lineup, they were the ones that got those high scores, because, you know, La Jolla Shores, it can be very peaky, and it can be kind of elusive when it comes to getting that open face, but the open face waves have been, that's where you've been getting those 8s and 9s, so that's why you see a lot of waves being ridden right now.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be down here without our great sponsors, of course, the team from CAF and Hurley and Stance in the city of San Diego, but also our supporting sponsors like Denton's and Endotech Designs and Northern Trust and Oliver McMillan, and of course Natural High, and our media sponsors including Surfline, Surfos Magazine, and Passion Extreme. Without our supports, and like you were talking earlier, our volunteer staff, we have hundreds of volunteers assisting our participants. And there's Davi Teixeira. He's turning out to be a rock star, Chris, at this event.
Oh, yeah.
He had Felipe
all
Toledo.
over
He had
social media.
Mick Fanning. He had Gabriel Mendina, the world champion, text him before his heat on Friday, wishing him all the best. And in his first ever surfing competition, he won his heat on Friday.
This kid's an instant star. 5 minutes to go. Posadas. Wow, nice recovery. Gets a little head dip on the inside. He is fired up. And here goes Biscayar. He hears the cheers going up. He wants to get some himself. So we get back out there. Under 4 minutes to go. Love that wave that Posadas just got. This was a good one, Bo.
Yeah, you see that's his pumping, you know. He's pumping into this wave. He's leaning. He's staying on the open face. This is where the scoring is being done. He digs in a rail. He regroups, and he's trying for the little head dunk right at the end and rides this way all the way to the shoreline.
And right behind him in yellow, Frederic Biscayar from France. Gets in on the outside, cannot complete the wave to the beach. All four competitors back on the lineup.
Yeah, Frederick, 36 years old from France, has been surfing for 2 years. He even has a sponsor called Pukas. His hobbies include rugby, car sport, adaptive rugby, I should say, and staying very active.
Well, he lives fast. Fast cars, fast surfing. You know, all contact sports. Anything where, you know, there's the potential of danger. That's what Frederic's going to get involved with. 3 minutes, 40 seconds ago. De Posadas now, his last wave, coming through at a 4. It's enough to get him in second place. So now, needing a 3.34, Biscayar. Going to have to find a diamond in the rough out here. Highly contestable, though. I mean, anytime you see multiple 8s and 9s going on in heats, that you know there are waves to be found out there.
Davi Teixeira there on screen. He's just 2 heats away. He'll be in the prone division coming up in heat 1, round number 2. And this kid is beyond his years. The knowledge and the drive and the determination when we interviewed him on the beach, he wants to inspire others. I mean, we're inspired by him, but he wants to inspire others. He wants to show that whatever infliction you may have, whether it's from birth or from an accident, there are many things you can do. There's Sean Thompson on the beach in the gray T-shirt right there, former ASP world champion back in 1977, honorary chairman of this event. So, you know, this event's drawing out, you know, the luminaries, because this is history in the making, not only in the ISA history, but this is history in the making of the sport of surfing.
Well, here goes Kawasaki trying to make some history of his own. Goes down. And there you see the safety crew right on top of it. Of course, thank you to all of our volunteers and safety crew in the water that are, I mean, literally right on top of these surfers the second they go down. And, you know, but if these guys get in trouble, I mean, there's a lot of danger going on, even at waves this size. And here goes Posadas. He goes down on the inside. But here you go. Nice looking right-hander for Biscayar all the way to the beach. You hear the beach going wild. The whistles, the hoots, the hollers. As he cuts back, he wants more. He'll be right back out there. A lot of support down here on the beach. Here, every time a wave is caught, the crowd goes wild.
Yeah. And Biscayar, he looks like, you know, in different styles. We're seeing Biscayar getting up on his knees. We're seeing Buster stand in the prone division. I mean, these guys are adapting. You know, he's on his knees. He's riding a soft top. He's using his arms to help do the rail-to-rail work on his ride with just about a minute to go here, and he's having a great heat. He's got a 3.3 on that last wave, combo that with his 3.67 earlier, and there's his partner assisting him back out into the surf zone and back out into the lineup.
Yeah, I think the word adaptive, again, is very telling of what these athletes are capable of. you throw an obstacle at them, and they will do anything it takes to get above, around, underneath that obstacle and bypass it. You know, again, don't tell any of these guys that they can't surf, because they'll do this. Dropping bombs right here. Biscayar, his last wave comes through, 3.3. He needs a 3.34, just missing that score he needs. He's got 20 seconds to go. There he goes. The high fives from his coaching team right there.
Look, physical therapists on the beach, getting these guys ready. I mean, these guys have a team. I mean, they're taking this event really serious. Buster up and down right on the horn, so that'll round out heat number 2, round number 2 of the assist division. And we still have more exciting surfing action here at La Jolla Shores. You're watching the 2015 ISA Inaugural World Surfing Championships presented by CAF, Hurley, Stans, and the City of San Diego. When we return, our final heat in the assist division. Stay tuned for more exciting action. Welcome back to La Jolla, California, site of the 2015 ISA World Adaptive Surfing Championships presented by CAF, Team CAF Challenge Athletes Foundation. Also by Hurley, Stan Sox, and the beautiful City of San Diego and the Mayor, Kevin Faulkner. We are at La Jolla Shores in the inaugural ISA World Championships. Right now, we are in the assist semifinal. Let's meet our competitors. Jesse Bilar, representing the United States in red. Juan de Pesos from Uruguay is in the white jersey. Buster Kawasaki from Hawaii in the yellow jersey. And Patrick Avision from California, representing the United States in the blue jersey. I'm Bo Hodge along with Shannon Marie Quirk. We're back on the webcast. We've got a full team, full action team covering this inaugural event, and it's so exciting to see. Now we're getting down to the nuts and bolts of the events in the semifinals. Winners of this heat make the final.
Very cool. Everyone is stoked for this event, let alone Jesse Blauer, one of the founders of Life Rolls On and a huge inspiration for the adaptive surfing community and the adaptive sports in general. He worked closely with the Challenge Athletes Foundation, as you can see. Speaking of Jesse Blauer taking the first wave of the heat, a nice right, and we were talking to him earlier today. He was deciding in between 3 fins and 4 fins, and everyone's just trying to figure out the perfect equipment for the day and for their specific needs. So Jesse Blauer working with CI with Channel Islands out of Santa Barbara, so stoked to be here. Jesse is kicked off that heat with a nice long ride.
Well, guess what? In his earlier heat this morning, Shannon, one of his fins popped out. So he was riding with one less fin, and he scored a 9.43, an 8, a couple of high 7s, and a 5 and a 6. So his throwaway waves would have won the heat.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. It's very interesting to hear about the approach from every athlete. And Juan, we were talking about from Uruguay, Posadas, he has a really interesting story too. You see him on your screen right now in white. He was in a surf accident 11 years ago, and unfortunately it was on his birthday of all days. But the wave tossed him slightly around, and then under the water he realized he couldn't move his body. Just his head and his arms. So he threw his arms up and trying to stay calm. And he said what seemed like a lifetime, the ocean was throwing him around, and he just couldn't move at all. And finally, he was found, and he had a heart attack on the helicopter that took him to the airport, and a couple more at the operating table. His lungs were full of water. He was in a coma for several days. He had on assisted breathing. And 3 months after the accident, he was stable enough to travel. So just some really intense stories. Some, these are survivors. The fact that they're even out in the water today, I'm sure they're just thankful. And, as look at this, look at the claim. I mean, just how much stoke can you get from surfing? This is just the most phenomenal sport for an adaptive event. I am just so glad it finally happened. I think the ISA was thinking about doing this for a long time, but it could not have come any sooner. The community here is on their feet in applause, and it is just all good vibes down here.
Here we go. Patrick Avision up and riding on his first wave, and good directional maneuver for Patrick. Of course, Patrick was run over by a car where people had to lift the car and his mom had to pull him out at the age of 18 months. And he's just an amazing individual. And he's out here. And, of course, Patrick surfs with Ricochet, the surfing dog, a lot up and down the coast here in California. And Jesse Bilar already with 2 good scores. A 3.5 and a 4.5 has set the pace here in our assist division. Now, in the assist division, we have caddies wearing the same jersey as the competitor. And Jesse Bilar's caddy is none other than Mr. Hurley himself, Evan Slater. And Evan was talking about on the webcast earlier when we had him on about why Hurley sponsors Jesse's, because he inspires others. He represents us. Hurley also sponsors Elena Nichols. You know, people who inspire others, and what two individuals around here fit that mold than Jesse and Elena. So Jesse's doing good. We can tell you that Juan is in second place with a 4.27 and a 1.83. Patrick Envision opened up his score with a 2.33 and a 2.77. And Buster Kawasaki has a 2.3. So still early in his heat, 15 and a half minutes remaining.
Yeah, pretty amazing stories. Each one of these is just super memorable, and it could be a film in itself. As you see, La Jolla Shores producing some waves. For the event today, we're excited to have the final day of action here in San Diego, California, down on the sands. It's a hot, appears like summer day. The water's warm. I want to say about 77 degrees would be my guess. Definitely can trunk it, and it's just absolutely beautiful. As Jesse Bilar taking a left. Let's see, he's looking at, right now he has a 4.5 and a 3.5 on the board, so he's going to try to get another ride to top those 2 scores. But definitely Life Rolls On has, paved the way for many athletes. I think surfing in general has finally opened the eyes of many adaptive athletes, or, just people dealing with disabilities that maybe have thought, I'm not sure if I can do any sport anymore, and just finally realizing how important it is to stay healthy and make sure your body's moving. And, it's so good to sweat and get those endorphins running. So surfing has just proven to be a very therapeutic practice.
I got a board down
for
here.
all of these athletes today.
And, in fact, one of his participants from Life Rolls On, Patrick Envision, in the semifinal with him, a fellow American surfer in blue. And last wave for Jesse Bilar, even though he wiped out at the end, was a 5.17. So Jesse improves his position for first. Juan currently in second, needing a 5.4 to go to first. For Patrick Envision, he needs a 3.34 to move up to second. For Buster Kawasaki from Hawaii, from Pearl City, now needing a 3.81. Time check, 13 minutes, 45 seconds. You see the volunteers there, the water safety right there on spot, on scene, and whoa! Going end over end. Was that Buster? It looks like it was Buster on the outside.
It was Buster, and just before that we had Patrick Everson, who's actually one of the many people inspired by Jesse Bilar's Life Rolls On event. And that, he said that watching Step into Liquid when he was 8 years old really got him inspired to surf. And he saw Jesse, immediately told his mom, I want to do that one day. And then, as soon as he was ready, he went out with Life Rolls On Foundation, started events with them, and now he's here at the World Championship for Adaptive Surfing, looking for a gold medal, surfing with his his icon, which is so awesome to see, and just proves how important it is to be a mentor and to use these stories for something much bigger than just themselves. As you can see, just hands up in the air as Kawasaki takes that ride in for Team Hawaii. The entire Hawaiian team is down on the beach cheering, and as we were talking before, Hawaiians have been involved in the adaptive surfing game for a while. This is not new. It is new for San Diego, but we're going to take the interview down to the sand with Chris Cote. He's going to show us a little bit about the gear we're using today.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Well, I wanted to show everybody this wave ski right here. This is pretty much the peak of wave ski technology. This thing's actually really light. And I'll tell you what, there you see kind of the thickness and all the fins and the straps. This is definitely a well-tuned piece of machinery. So the competitors, they will stick their feet in here. You see it's dug out on the deck. And a lot of hardware keeping their legs stuck to the board. And then you see this real stout strap, one for the back and one for the lap. And I'll tell you what, this thing is like a race car. All competitors, of course, they need to have their competitor sticker from the ISA. This is one of our surfers from Brazil. So that's just a look at the equipment. And, man, this thing looks really fun, really fast. It's a new impact wave ski. And this is it right here. This is what is probably going to take the gold medal. We will see. One of our competitors will be crowned the gold medalist in the wave ski division.
Thanks a lot, Chris. And every piece of equipment is so different. Not one piece of apparatus is always the same. It's always tailored and made for that individual's needs and abilities. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsors here at the ISA World Adaptive Surfing Championships, CAF, Hurley, Stance, and the City of San Diego. Our supporting sponsors also include the San Diego Tourism Authority, Autobach, Procopio, San Diego 2024, Wahoo Tacos, Freedom Investments, Suja, Rancho Valencia Resort and Spa, and our media partners include Surfers Village and Grandad Zero. Thank you very much to all of our great sponsors. And there's Patrick as the water safety crew is getting him back up. And Patrick's been catching a lot of waves. His earlier heat this morning, he only caught 2 waves, and this is already his 4th wave in this heat, and we're just halfway through.
Yeah, and he's actually been competing in adaptive surfing for quite some time. He was for 9 years consecutively. He was in the U.S. Open Expression session. So if you could imagine a crowd just about as big as it gets, maybe other than Pipe Masters, but the U.S. Open is a really big deal. You know, it's almost like an arena where you have people on the pier, more photographers than are probably healthy in one area, and for it to be in front of that kind of crowd for an expression session for adaptive surfing, how awesome. Yet instead of just 1 hour, now we have a full event. What ISA has done is taken all of the adaptive surfers from around the world and some adaptive athletes that are being introduced to surfing for the first time, brought them here with the help of Challenge Athletes Foundation, who sponsored many of these athletes' flight and accommodation, bringing them here to the sand to not only progress the sport, but to, you know, open doors for challenge athletes with disabilities that are, looking to make something of their lives and really push themselves to a new level of athleticism and professionalism.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Been amazing what everything is doing here. We see more of our competitors battle on through. Patrick and Vision now with a 3.63 on his last wave has moved himself into 3rd place, now requiring a 5.54 to get into 2nd. Remember, top 2 will advance, and Jesse and Juan have set 9.2 wave totals right now for themselves in the lead. For Patrick in 3rd, needing a 5.54. For Buster Kawasaki, his last wave, a 1.8. He now needs a 6.24 with 8.5 minutes remaining.
And up and riding from the USA, Patrick Evison, who, as we said, is just super amped to be here today and surfing amongst his peers and his idol, Jesse Bellauer, who's in his heat with him. So pretty amazing and inspiring. Jesse was saying as well, the best part about the Adaptive Surfing Championship is just the camaraderie, to have everyone together and see what people are doing from around the world, and different apparatuses, different equipment, different gear, like what we just saw with Chris Cote on the sand. It is full-on customizable. Everything that these guys and gals are doing is, this is actually the first time for the championship, the World Championship, so we are learning new things every day.
Watching on the screen here, I like the way the Water Patrol team is working together. There's 3 or 4 individuals that actually went to Patrick to make sure he's upright, and there was another team of 3 or 4 actually getting to the board and getting the board back out to where Patrick is. There's Jesse Bellauer, and Jesse has found all the right waves. His wave selection has been perfect in this semifinal, and he is above and beyond probably the odds-on man to catch in this assisted division. I like the way he elevates his elbows. He's able to rock back and forth on his rails to turn. And here we go. This is Juan, currently in 2nd place, hailing from Uruguay.
Yeah, just taking a spill there. It looked like he caught his rail, maybe pearled on that last ride. But I'm going to see the Uruguayan competitor back in action. as you can just see all the water patrol definitely doing a great job, make sure that everyone is safe. And again, these competitors, once they have taken off, there is no assist, so they're gonna they're fully controlling the boards. And some of the competitors too I was talking to earlier, just like Juan, he actually has a wave jet, but he's not using the motor. So he told me that because other competitors didn't have the wave jet, he wasn't going to use the motorized version. So we don't have very strict rules about those specific things yet. I imagine as this event gets through, and especially from the symposium yesterday, all the competitors were talking about different things they could do or how the event could improve. And so you're going to see the progression of adaptive surfing just skyrocket so quickly. I can't wait to see what's going down next year. Even the Hawaiian team here today, they're shapers like Eric Arakawa, who's shaping.
HIC.
Yeah, so rad. He shapes boards for some top competitors on the WCT.
He was the shaper for Andy Irons for many years. And, from the symposium, one of the big things they were talking about yesterday was classification. And we had the lady who does the classification for snowboarding in the Olympics speaking yesterday, and she wants to help out surfing and get classification done here for not only surfing, but for adaptive surfing as well.
Yeah, very cool. And we were, speaking of the Hawaiian team, Buster Kawasaki, he not only is this his first year surfing his debut at the Dukes Ocean Fest in 2014, he actually took first place, which is pretty incredible.
And he won it again this year. So he's a two-time defending assist division winner.
Very awesome. He's also an outrigging canoe paddler and loves health and fitness. His hobbies also include sharing the stoke with everyone, and that's definitely something everyone here is doing today in front of a packed beach at La Jolla Shores. We're so happy to be here in San Diego. Thank you to the Tourism Board of San Diego for having us. We will be coming back, hopefully next year and for many to come.
A good rebound off the whitewater there for Buster Kawasaki. His Instagram, Twitter title, Bust a Move, as we see Patrick coming in on his sixth wave now. Patrick has moved up into third place, but needing a wave score of a 5.54 better to get into second. And Jesse Bilar has just upped his margin in the lead with his last wave score of a 6.83. Time check, 4 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in this first semifinal number one of the assist division.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. These athletes are just, I've said it about 100 times. I'll say it again. They're phenomenal. This is a life-changing event to be a part of. It's an eye-opening event. It's humbling. It's definitely something that surfing is going to be proud of. And, this is history in the making right now. You see Jesse Blauer, one of the fan favorites and probably more well-known adaptive athletes, who is taking his situation to the next level to really share his story with the world. Jesse Blauer founded Life Rolls On Foundation, which you can find at liferollson.org. They take athletes to the water to surf for their first time, so challenged and disabled athletes, as well as they have a skate event now, so in Venice Bowl, of all places, in LA.
Yeah, it's called They Will Skate Again. So under Life Rolls On is They Will Surf Again and They Will Skate Again. And it's pretty amazing. I was talking to Jesse's dad the last couple of days, and he is just so touched by, what his son has done. And a replay of Buster Kawasaki's wave, this wave score coming in at a 3.43, so that is one of his top two. Still needing a score of a 5.74 to get into the advancing place of making the final. Remember, these top two surfers in this heat will make the final.
Yeah, and I think, Jesse's story has really hit home for a lot of people that are watching on the webcast, especially because, Jesse was a pro surfer before his injury. He surfed along the likes of Slater and Rob Machado, really incredible athlete, born and raised in Malibu. But one day, and this could really happen to any of us, he hit the sandbar and snapped his neck. It was a life-changing event, and he used that kind of momentum for the positive. He made sure to, served the community and now has done so much for other adaptive athletes and just inspired a movement. So that's what we're all about today here at the first ever ISA World Adaptive Surfing Championships. We are so happy to have you with us today here in La Jolla Shores. This is Shannon Marie and Bo Hodge.
Thank you very much. It's just like you said, Shannon, it's a remarkable moment. This is history in the making. Evan Slater was here, former editor of Surfer Magazine, now working with Hurley, and he's been involved with Jesse and Life Rolls On. In fact, he is Jesse's caddy out in the water. Rob Machado has been part of Life Rolls On. Sean Thompson, an honorary chairman of this event, is down here, and it's a life-changing event, and this event will grow in many years. Aloha, my name is Bo. This is Shannon. Welcome to the webcast. We are so proud to be here, making history, as Fernando Aguirre, the ISA president, has said. Today, we are going to crown the first 4 world champions in the ISA World Adaptive Surfing Championships. This event's going to grow leaps and bounds. It's going to get recategorized. We're going to be including more adaptive surfers in different disciplines and different classifications. It's going to be amazing. And we are just touching the surface here on La Jolla Shores, and it's going to be an exciting day. By the end of the day, around 4 o'clock, when we have the closing ceremonies.
Yeah, and this really is the capital of Stoke. As Fernando said yesterday, we have taken the world's best adaptive surfers and put them on the pedestal today. You are going to see champions crowned. You're going to see gold medals, silver, bronze. I mean, the amount of accolades, I don't think these surfers could ever get enough respect. Like, this is just the most powerful event, I think, in surfing history. There are so many people on the beach that, maybe have never surfed in their lives, but these stories are so moving that it is breaching the surf bubble, and thank goodness for that, because if surfing, the progressive nature of surfing, what ISA is really doing is developing the sport globally. So thank you for that, and come right back for the action after this quick message from our sponsors.